We got some new JJK color illustrations from Gege in order to promote the final volume releases, and these are absolutely gorgeous, and you guys already know that this one is my favorite, but all of them are good. I mean, just look at Choso in this galaxy drip. The fit is fresher than my new cut, and yeah, new haircut, let's get it out the way and move on. And then finally, we got my relatable goat, Nanami, who just wants to take a nap, man. He's just tired. Like, can we please give this man a break? Give him that Malaysian vacation. He deserves it. And just to be clear, these were not part of the final volumes. These were released in magazines in order to promote the final volumes. But speaking of the final volumes, I still am going to make a video talking about all the extras we get, but those have just been kind of coming out slowly. So I'm waiting for them to all be done, and then we'll make a video covering all of it. And also, real quick shout out to Rashid, who sent me this in response to our leaks video last night. Let's do this one more time. And then finally, I have gotten 2 JJK questions related to all of this, so I want to tackle these. But before I do, spoiler warning if you have not read the epilogue yet. But I got this question from Tiza, who wanted to know, could one of Yuta's kids potentially have the 6 eyes and the 10 shadows? Because, yeah, we found out in the epilogue that Yuta has grandkids, right? So at some point, he got together with presumably Maki, but we don't know that it was Maki. There was absolutely no confirmation or any context at all, really, as to who Yuta got with at some point. But they obviously had kids, and then those kids had kids. But to the question, yes, I do think it's possible for Yuta's offspring to have the 6 eyes due to his connection to the Gojo clan, and the 10 shadows due to the connection to the Zenin clan, right? And I didn't talk about like specifically in reference to Yuta before, but I know in some video somewhere we talked about this possibility. So I really think that would be cool to see if we ever got, you know, some sort of sequel or part 2 ever in the future. But it certainly doesn't seem like that's what Gege is planning on doing, at least at this point. And then the second question today comes from my boy Nitro, and he had a question about Yuji's domain expansion and that fight at the end with Sukuna. As you can see here, he said that, you know, Yuji had the sure hit effect, but Sukuna had Hollow Wicker Basket. But once Hollow Wicker Basket was off, wouldn't his domain have just been the equivalent of a malevolent shrine, crushing Sukuna's soul with a horde of dismantles? Or do you think that Yuji's infancy with his domain is the reason why that wasn't the case? And I think this is a few different things all happening at once. So first of all, yes, once Sukuna's Hollow Wicker Basket went down, he was just experiencing the full brunt of Yuji's domain expansion, very much the same way that Gojo did in their domain clash, but also similar to Gojo, who was overwhelmingly stronger when it comes to the curse technique. He was able to sit there and take it and just heal through it. Sukuna was doing the exact same thing, because if you recall, he had gotten his RCT back online basically right before Yuji popped the domain. And Sukuna even says, you think you can flay me with this superficial domain because it is so weak, because Yuji is in his infancy as far as domain expansions go. But wait, aren't his slashes hitting the soul? So that shouldn't be something that's just child's play to heal, right? Well, I think there's 2 possible explanations to this. First and foremost, we know that Sukuna is capable of healing his soul because he knows the contours of the soul just like Yuji does. So even if they are doing soul damage, it still might be weak enough that it's child's play for him to just heal through it, the same way Gojo healed through Malevolent Shrine. But on top of that, it might also be that Yuji's domain wasn't doing soul damage. And I don't really feel strongly either way about this, but we do know that Yuji's dismantles doing soul damage were a binding vow in the fight with Sukuna. Pre-domain, I'm talking about. We know that he had to physically touch Sukuna, and then he was specifically targeting the barrier between their souls, right? And Sukuna is even the one that points out that this is a binding vow. So it's at least possible that because Yuji is so inexperienced with domains, he wasn't able to weave that binding vow into his domain expansion, and maybe the domain was merely doing regular dismantles. Again, I don't think it really matters either way, because I think Sukuna would be capable of healing the soul dismantles, but food for thought. Finally, let me know who you thought wore it better. And just kidding, there's no contest here. This is still one of the hardest panels in the entire manga. But that's going to do it for this one, y'all. Stay tuned for those volume extras, hopefully coming soon. But as always, thank you for watching.